I just built a new PC with an RTX 5090 GPU. I know it's overkill, but we actually won the graphics card. So now it's time to look at options to upgrade our monitor to pair with this PC. So enter the chat the GIGABYTE MO27U2 4K QD OLED monitor. I've been wanting to try a glossy OLED panel like this in my setup for such a long time. This is a 27-inch 4K QD OLED sporting 240Hz, which is great for all kinds of gaming. I'm an OLED lover, so I really value color and contrast when I'm gaming and watching content, and I appreciate it when I'm working too. And with this screen's 166 ppi and the fact it is a QD OLED, you're experiencing detail on every scale. So what's in the box?
The power cable, a cable management clip and some paperwork, 3 cables being a HDMI, display cable and a USB A to B cable, the base of the stand itself and the panel. Simple to put together and gorgeous when it's put together. Look how thin this panel is.
There are a lot of good features here to call out for gamers, such as OLED care to prevent screen burn-in, flashbang dimming, which reduces the screen's brightness if you do get flashbanged in-game. That is so good on your eyes. And Tactical Switch 2.0, which is the ability to shrink the resolution of the screen. So if you do want a little bit more of a competitive edge with a 24-inch size display, you can do that too. To show you some examples of what this monitor can do paired with my PC, we did a benchmark of Cyberpunk. Now it was reaching over 400 frames, which is obviously so excessive for a screen like this. And obviously this monitor is a 240Hz display. But I will say there was absolutely no screen tear. The colors were so on point, so bright, vibrant, and pretty accurate to what you would imagine those colors look like in real life. In-game reflections with ray tracing looked beautiful on screen. And of course, because it is a QD OLED, those blacks, contrast, perfect. The pixels shut off, you get a true black. I feel like for a game like Cyberpunk, this monitor is the perfect pairing, purely for scenery, lighting, reflections, all the color. Obviously for us, we can get a lot higher of a frame rate. So if you are like me and have a 5090 GPU, something like the Aorus 500Hz monitor would be probably a better pairing, but regardless, this is such a great result. Now the 5090 is not going to be my only PC. I am looking at building something a lot smaller, more budget friendly as well, and I do think that this is going to be a nice option for that too. And on that note, you probably know by now if you watch my videos and are a family member of the channel, I am more of a casual gamer these days, and I love a cozy indie game. And the reason being is I'm looking for comfort, I'm looking for something to kick back to and enjoy a gaming session after a really hard working day. So those games that I gravitate towards are very colorful, they're bright, they're fun. Sometimes the refresh rates can be a little bit on the lower side because they are indie games, but this monitor makes those games look absolutely beautiful. For example, Fantasy Life I, the girl who stole time, who took time. I call it just Fantasy Life I because that name is too long, but that game is so colorful. There is a lot going on, lots of different objects and environments and trees and little farms and characters in the game, and this screen brings it to life, to Fantasy Life. But it just looks absolutely gorgeous and is very attractive for a gamer like me, because I would gravitate more towards this display playing that game if you paired it next to another display that was matte and wasn't as bright. All that to say, this really does just accentuate color perfectly, and I think no matter what game you are playing, this is going to do an amazing job at showcasing it. But this design, it's gorgeous. It's got a really nice, super thin base stand, which is honestly so good because a pet peeve of mine is when monitors have these big chunky legs or a big base. I don't want to mount it onto an arm or a bracket on a wall. I tend to want to keep my monitors on their own stands, but sometimes they are a little bit too obnoxious for the desk. So I really appreciate the design of this one. The screen itself, it's super thin, aside from the big box on the back, of course. But that doesn't matter because you don't see it. All you see is a glossy, colorful screen from the front with a pretty big bezel, which I won't lie, I'm not that big of a fan of it. I would like to see an edge-to-edge display here or a smaller bezel because it is quite big for a screen like this. Not talking about the bottom panel with the GIGABYTE branding, I am talking about the black bezels around the edge of the screen. That's something I would like to see changed on a newer version of this, but again, that's just a personal preference. I don't think you can get better than a QD OLED panel for a gaming monitor right now, at least in my opinion, because I do value the image over performance. I know that's a bad thing to say, but that is just my personal gaming experience. because I play a lot of cozy fun games. OLEDs and QD-OLEDs tick all the boxes that I want in a display, especially with their software, their refresh cycle, and the Care software, OLED Care that Gigabyte have, for example. It really does make a difference when trying to keep this screen long lasting, and not only is it beautiful, that also makes it reliable. Sleek, minimalist, and visually striking. This is a screen that I am definitely adding to my list of gaming monitors that I do want to buy, because this big PC needs something else now. It can support pretty much anything and everything. I'm definitely really liking what I'm seeing here, and no, I don't get to keep this screen. So just a thank you to Gigabyte for sponsoring this video and allowing me to check this out, because it is really hard to buy a monitor. It's something that you need to kind of see in person a lot of the time to see if you really like it. And a lot of retailers don't tend to have all the stock available on display or even in their stores at all. I'll leave a link in the description of where you can purchase this in Australia, and check it out right after you hit that subscribe button, because I look forward to talking more tech with you in the next video.